I'm talking about any level, college, high school, WNBA, NBA, overseas. You watch a lot of basketball.
Yes, but I think high school is being watered down because you can show up at a camp and you can get a number put on you. That's my thought.
Who was your favorite high school player to coach then? That's that you're not still coaching, because I don't want them to get their feelings hurt when they see this.
Feelings hurt.
Yeah, because I thought I was Coach's favorite. Coach, I thought I was your favorite. You're all my favorites.
Can I just say a favorite team?
Okay.
My current team that I just had, probably the most exciting one.
Why?
Because they was winning.
Because they came in as little babies and you saw them kind of grow.
Okay.
And then we started winning, so.
So then you started winning, so you weren't winning before.
Oh no, that first year was terrible. Many sleepless nights trying to figure it out.
What do you think it took to get y'all there?
Practice.
Rewind. You talking about practice? I'm supposed to be the best player. What are you talking about?
He was out
Practice.
there. He's seen him from the beginning.
I did see him from the beginning.
And
They actually do their little conditioning and stuff in the off season to get him ready, and then we play like pickup games with him. So there's especially high school. You got various levels of talent. There might be people that are really ready to go up there, and then some people it's like their second year ever playing. So you put all them people on one team, and then you don't want any drop off. Like you don't want your starters to come out and then all of a sudden y'all in a 15-point hole. But yeah.
So
They used to hate to see
basically,
me coming though.
there was an extreme and a less extreme.
okay.
So you had to figure out how to mesh them all together at once.
How to make them blend?
Yeah, you saw the dynamic in them because they would just play, but you out of control. Yeah.
How do you even get to that point of wanting to be a high school coach? Take us back. What was the journey that led you to coaching first? Because some people just have a passion for coaching. Like you see these young coaches, whether it be the NBA, NFL, whatever, that are like 25 years old and they're assistant coaches. Like they knew that that's what they wanted to do. Sometimes out of high school, like they started off being a manager or whatever. They just wanted to be around the sport. Didn't necessarily play. Like I know you got a little bit of game just because we used to.
Well, you know, yeah.
You couldn't guard me,
Like,
but
you know.
then what was it? It was Thanksgiving. We used to have a little Thanksgiving when you
Yep.
opened up the gym.
That's when you
So,
knew
yeah,
that I
me-
was a baller.
Me and Kim go like way back to like
Yeah.
2008, something like that. Yeah, when I first moved up here from Fresno. Yep. Babies was in strollers type.
Yep.
Go back that far.
That
So
was-
yeah, take us on how did you go from Kim the hooper to Kim the coach?
It actually kind of just fell in my lap, like real talk, because I had just had my youngest daughter. She was probably about 2. And my junior college coach called me up and he was like, hey, would you come coach my freshman team? And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I guess I can come do it. So I started and I was like, hey, this is kind of fun. And then the following year I moved up to JV. And I was like, okay, I think I could do this. And then I had a real good, okay, take this back. That might have been my best team, that first year JV team. I was at Maryland.
Okay.
So you're not really dealing with athletes, you're dealing with scholars. I'm gonna use the proper word for them.
Scholars. Now,
Yes.
how would you describe what scholars are? I mean, I know
Scholars
what it is, but
are
in that-
your
in that-
typical just show up because it's a sport offered at the school. Not really.
not athletes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
But you got to turn them into athletes. So you got to use each and every strength that they have and translate it into the basketball court in a way that they can understand it. So, mind you, in that group, maybe 3 of them went on to UCLA and are now graduated and currently operating in the medical field as like brain surgeons and stuff like that. So that kind of lets you know more so really what I was working with, not athletes, but scholars.
Basically, like just something else to put on their college resume, like, oh,
Absolutely.
extracurriculars.
To be a part of something.
Got it.
And we did well. We actually went undefeated in league at a school that varsity went 0 and whatever, but you had this JV group that went undefeated. And I think it was more so not the X's and O's of coaching, but it was more of the relationship that I was able to develop with them. And then at that time, I was probably in my late 20s. So that I was still within an age group gap with them that we still related a lot. And I was fresh off a plan, and I would still go play in an adult league. So that's how that started. And then, so what happened? Here, let's take it back. I'm sorry.
Good.
So I was at Maryland, predominantly scholars. I'm now coaching at Cordova.
Okay.
When I went over to Cordova, I was just the JV coach. But initially, when I went over to Cordova, my perspective of going over there was deeper than just being at Maryland. I saw at Cordova, you had a population of students. They were athletes, but they didn't have the support behind them to show them how to be students of the game, student athletes in the classroom. So I was like, I like that challenge. That challenge is
Bring
big
me that
to me.
challenge. Okay.
The ethnicity background over there was a lot different from coming from Maryland. You had kids that had homes, 2-parent homes, money banging out. They got swimming pools in the backyard. Kind of over at Cordova, you don't have that lifestyle. It's more apartment-like, gritty, probably less of the 2-parent household, but you do have some that kind of have that mixture a little bit. So you got that component. And they've never been told that they mattered. So I found that, and I was like, oh my God, I'm in love. So we started over there on JV and improved, and then I got opportunities to come up and coach with varsity and kind of interact and intertwine with those girls. And it became successful, and I was like, okay, I actually might be kind of good at this. And then the varsity position opened up, and then I kind of transitioned into that. And the year that I took over, there was no upperclassmen. They were all freshmen, and that's when he would come out and train them.
Okay.
And you had 3 girls that played AAU basketball. Everybody else just decided to roll out of bed and say, I'm coming to play basketball this morning. So you got this, like, just blah. And that first year was tough. Even they'll tell you, like, you could see that they were so talented, though. But you have to do more than just the X and O's with them. You have to speak to their spirit. You got to coach them in life. So what I began to do was, instead of worrying about the X and O's of the game, let me speak to each of their spirits individually. Because once I figure I can raise that up, then it'll start translating into the game. And so that's what kind of took its place.
What do you think do you think their confidence level had a lot to do with it?
Absolutely.
Do you think that helped translate over into having a winning season with their confidence growing and then you connecting with them that well?
Yes, because I saw once they started to believe in themselves, that's when it was like, they never got big-headed, but it's like, it's a constant, you're good enough. You can go play beyond just high school. There's more than just the hood aspect of it. So,
like, what kind of goals did you bring out for them? Like, you know, when I went to high school, I didn't play, but I was the manager, so I did all the stats. So I was at every practice, at every game and everything. And the goal was like, okay, this year, let's get over 500. Next year, let's actually win the whole division. Next year, can we actually do this? Because the team that we had wasn't the greatest, but it was little baby steps. So what goals did you give to them?
So year one, we started out just developing an identity of who we were and who they wanted to be. They had set a goal to be the best class to come out of there in over 20 years. The following year, we would watch movies together. So we would watch Rocky, just trying to switch their mind frame.
That's a great series, by the way.
Like,
I want to point that out.
If you own the ropes. And they would be sitting in the classroom like, Coach, why are you bringing us Rocky? And I would be like, just watch it, because it would do something internally. And it started to spark, and it would translate just from in the classroom over into the court. What was it, last year? Oh, and we set a goal to be league champs.
Okay.
We weren't the big dogs in the league. We were the puppies, right?
Yeah.
And we flipped it, and we became the big dogs, and we won a league championship last year.
So it is Women's History Month, which means go get your dance, all that good stuff. Which means I ain't gonna be talking that much today. I'm gonna sit here and stay in my place. Nah, I'm just playing. Hey, this is my ace right here. This is Kim Little. We go way, like we said, way, like 4 flats on the Cadillac.
Before Throwback Thursday, right?
Before
Even
there
became
was,
a thing,
before
right?
it was social media, it was like Black Planet and MySpace. Like we back to those days.
Yeah.
Before Facebook even blew up outside of college. Yeah, woman of God, loves what she does. She coaches several sports, highlighting basketball, softball. You do like what, badminton, water polo, pretty much everything.
On, table tennis.
If it opens up, she's in there. Can she let the kids? But nah, we're just highlighting what you do in the community with your girls, for the team. Oh, and a soccer mom. Daughters is dope. Like super dope.
Nice.
And she's not too bad on the grill with the burgers and the hot dogs either. Yeah, a little bit of everything, which means
I can do it all.
Yeah, you could probably cater
feel
to
me?
a couple of the shows when we get to that level where it's time to start bringing in some.
I can add catering on my resume.
Hey,
Just put an asterisk by it.
Put an asterisk by it. Yep. So yeah, this is Kim Little.
I love it.
She's joining us today. Very special episode, 2-part episode of Whose Side Are You On? Highlighting women's history. We got a couple topics for you. What is that? Is that a new?
It's a little. I think it's a
you guys
TikTok
worked that
thing.
Oh, it's a TikTok thing.
Yeah.
That's for the young people.
There you go.
The below 35 crowd.
No, because I be seeing some old people on TikTok. Because there's a granny on there. She be getting it.
She's really not that old. I know who you're talking about. The one that's from the Bay.
I guess. I don't know where she from. But
When you now, let me ask you this real quick. When you say the Bay, when you think of the Bay, name the top. Just name the cities that you think of when you say the Bay.
I don't think of Sacramento.
No, not at all.
I think Oakland,
You said I'm
San
going to the Bay?
Jose,
You said San Jose. You consider
Frisco.
Okay.
2-0.
Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from the South,
See, there you go.
but I grew up here. So
In Sac.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
So,
it's
yeah.
You're
Sac
0 for
people.
2.
No, I'm not 0 for 2.
You
I
are
said
0 for
people
2.
from the Bay don't say San Jose when they talking about the Bay.
I'm
Yes,
not from
we
the
do.
Bay, but
Yes, I'm from.
Oh,
San
you
Jose.
from San Jose?
I'm from San Jose.
maybe that's why I said it.
Tupac ain't
little-
even shout y'all out. From Oakland and Chi-Town,
Bay
the
Area and
Bay
back
Area
down.
and back down. Y'all in the back down part.
Oh,
No, it's the Bay Area.
California love. Anyway, back
I
to...
just heard that whole beat just
Did
drop.
you- I got the chucks on too. I'm about to...
Do your
Anyway,
dance.
nah, I'm not gonna do it. This is a church show. I can't. I'm gonna Christ walk.
Jesus
Jesus Christ had dreads,
But Christ
shake
gave
'em.
you those
I ain't got none.
skills to do that.
but I'm planning on growing some.
They got wigs for those now.
They do.
I cut mine
You
off
can
on
be
the
anybody you want to be tomorrow if
I'm
you want
done.
dreads.
Weave it in.
done.
Yeah.
You good.
I'm done. But yeah, we've been highlighting on. We're like, get back on it, get back on it. We've been highlighting. We're highlighting women in sports contributions, not just athletically, but just across the board. And I was like, Kim is the best person I know to jump in on some of these topics.
Well, thank you.
So,
Thank
and we
you.
talked about your coaching background, about you playing, not being able to guard me and pick up games and all that good stuff. But now we're gonna have you, Wayne. It's true. Nobody can guard me. Like, you didn't believe me when I told you, like, I'm literally that dude.
Last time I checked, we was talking about women.
We were. So that's why I'm about to drop off. But I was just putting that out that you can't guard me. It's not. That doesn't make. It's not because you're a woman that you can't guard me.
No.
Nobody can guard me. That's why I want to put that out there. Maybe Maya Moore. Like, I feel like she.
Maybe.
No, she.
I said can guard me. Not that I can't guard her. Cause she'll get buckets.
She'll get buckets.
You should
get
say
buckets.
you know she can guard you. Like it's.
But I don't know that. That's the level of confidence I operate
I
in.
love
Like,
the confidence, but
I could back
but
it up.
be
You've
real.
seen it. But you've seen it.
It's Maya Moore.
You've seen it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's Maya
Who is-
Moore. UConn,
Who
two
is
titles.
Maya Moore? Okay.
Maya Moore
Okay.
played for the Minnesota Lynx
Okay.
professionally.
Okay.
WNBA. Period. Period.
And that's on what?
Pooh. That's on Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Okay.
Don't you?
So since we on the topic of Maya Moore, WNBA season starting up, Maya's not playing.
No.
Let's get into that. Like, this is going to be her
Third.
third season sitting out. What are your thoughts on that? Like, maybe the people don't know why she's sitting out. We could tell them a little bit about that.
Okay, so Maya Moore has been sitting out the past 2 seasons and will sit out this season due to her passion for criminal justice reform with everything that's been going on the past few years. And she also she heard of a story, I believe his name is Jonathan Irons. Basically, he was wrongly convicted. There was no physical evidence of the crime that he had committed, so she grew a passion for it and became a part of the process to get him released from jail. And just decided to skip the seasons because that was more important. That was to her heart.
Not to drop a joke here, but I'm going to drop a joke here. No, that's kind of like the same thing that Kim Kardashian has
Love
been
after
doing.
lockup.
I'm saying in terms of like this whole kick of criminal justice reform and like trying to get people out of prison. Like, she was going to Trump. I think Kanye said like that was his main reason for like getting buddy with Trump, was just to have that connection.
But
so
I
that
think
they could start.
Maya's run a little deeper because
Oh yeah, absolutely.
hers has a ministry component behind it too. So I think that.
And from what I understood, she actually knew about this case long before, and I don't want to say before criminal justice reform became popular, but before it was really put out there in the media that this was a thing we need to fight for.
I think she was working it when she was in college, right? She started kind of dabbling into it and so forth because the guy that she married, she
Jonathan
knew him
Irons.
a long time before
Before she got him out of jail.
yeah.
Oh, so that was what they call him, jail bae, the dude that had the.
Yeah, that was her bae. That was her boo.
Yep. They married last year. And from what she said, like, another reason why she's skipping this season is like they just got married. And now she wants to, focus on additionally criminal justice reform and her family. Like, it's now his life outside of prison.
This is definitely going to be a Lifetime movie. Like, hopefully
And
they
I think
find someone that
she's-
looks like her to play her character. But
I think she's currently working on another case with another guy too. I don't know his name yet. But
so I
he
mean,
was
you look
wrongly
at that
convicted.
being able to sit out and skip a season. Now, obviously, the WNBA salary is nowhere near what it should be, or even close to what the NBA salaries are. That's a whole other topic, or maybe it does apply to the salary. I mean, this topic, but
They wrong.
I think
really
I
are.
saw she was making like 45,000 a year, like her basketball salary.
That's
Peanuts
not
compared
That's
to
peanuts to these
the-
men.
Yeah.
Um,
Even the bench player makes more than that.
Oh yeah, makes player
And
more
some
than
of the
whole,
accolades that she hold are better than the bench players.
better than the
just
star
saying.
And she was a starter.
star, like league star, like face of the league type.
Mm-hmm.
So the sacrifice in not just missing a season, or because players will sit out, or players will sit out for some games and get fined or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but to sacrifice that income, and she's talking about taking care of family, dealing with all it's work. It's not just like, oh, I'm just gonna go out and volunteer on the weekends. Like, it's work. It's phone calls. It's meetings. It's meeting with lawyers. It's a full-time job basically that she's doing. Like, where is the payoff, do you think? Or is this just another example of the fact that women are really the backbone of our society, always standing up for the people that don't have a voice, being advocates, taking care of home, taking care of outside? I speak on that a little bit.
Like, I think it has more. Obviously, she wants to have her hand in everything, every little thing. But at a certain point, we feel like we're super women, but we have to take care of ourselves. At the end of the day, we have to take care of ourselves, regardless of money, regardless of anything. And I think that because this was a social justice issue that was so close to her heart, money, accolades, and basketball just did not matter. It just doesn't matter at that point. And then finally, when she, fell in love, got married, it's like, okay, let me enjoy being married for a second. Let me, I'm still gonna work hard on this issue, but let me enjoy what life is like before, outside of basketball. And from what I understood is she said, like, retirement is not in the future. Yeah, she still wants to play. It's just a matter of when.
So she's a little rusty, which means I could probably take her now if I get.
But then I think we can also look at when you have a passion for something. Women are very passionate about the things that they do. And I think, basketball, I think athletes get labeled a lot as just the sport,
Right.
but not really. I say basketball, we see her as that's her identity, but that's not technically who she is. Basketball was just a platform that she was able to use her athletic ability and skills, but deep down her passion is about social injustice. And I think when you know that you're called to do something beyond just playing and dribbling basketball, but you see basketball has opened that door and given you that voice, why not go through it? And I think, because I read an article, I think she did talk about kind of ministry and her calling dealt with her in that sense. And that's why she walked away from basketball.
Right.
And not really ready to retire, but she got to do what
feels right for her.
Yeah.
100%.
So
Now, do you think it's all about the money?
Listen, I played at a level where there was really not that much money involved, like the equivalent of minor league baseball. So it does come down to passion. Like, obviously you want to use the level that you're on to get to the next level, but for a lot of people there is no next level. That is the level. I always talk about it in terms of passion. It's kind of like, you seen them cartoons where there's like a horse pulling a cart and they keep the blindfolders on it, but they have like a carrot dangling in front of the horse. For some people, that's what the sport is. It's really the carrot, right? So we got tunnel vision. So it's like, I want to be the best football player. I want to be the best baseball player. I want to be the best soccer player. And so that's what we pursue. The whole time we're learning discipline, how to get along with people that come from different backgrounds, how to be able to communicate, how to be organized, just a whole bunch of life skills, right? But along that way, you find whatever your passion is. If you were to get that carrot before you reach the destination, you would stop and eat the carrot and that would be it. But for people that realize, oh, my passion was this, but this is actually what my purpose is. The passion drives you to the purpose. And so the carrot is just with the dangling thing in front of you that gets you to that point. So I think we have to just fall in love with the journey. and not so much just getting the carrot. Because if I got the money early, there'd have been a lot of stuff like I wouldn't want to get into coaching or working with you, because it's like, man, I got my bag, like get yours. Like, but it's about, and for some people that's all it is. But when you're looking at just throughout history, like women have been grossly underpaid for doing the same jobs, if not more,
Right.
than men.
For
And
example, the U.S. women's soccer team.
Yeah, they're good.
Who were better than the men's team.
Way better.
Bringing more recognition to the country for, I mean, the U.S. is so far behind in terms of soccer compared to
100%.
other. It's an international sport, but that's not the U.S. sport, so that's not what we put at the highest of the highs in terms of views and all that kind of stuff. So,
But I think the U.S. still has a long way to go in soccer, for instance, because my girls play, and it's like a country club still.
yeah.
What do you
Country
mean?
club, golf, like, so think back like in the 40s and the 50s, like they have club, like the clubhouse, the club environment
Right.
where you have to have a membership, you have to have a certain status in society to be able to get, you have to have a certain skin color to be able to get
Yeah.
in. So like with golf, the only people that you would see on these country clubs, on these golf courses playing, is white people. There would be caddies, or the people that work there would be black people, but they were never allowed to actually play. And then you have, in terms of barriers being broken, somebody like Tiger Woods coming on the scene. People being like, whoa, wait, they can play golf too? Like, we can do everything.
And everything.
So if it's not limited to race and ethnicity, why should it be limited to gender?
Yeah, why?
But that's what I'm saying. So if we was to have an argument, who is the greatest athlete of all time? I could say this, and people will look at me like, oh, you're crazy. I'm not just talking about the greatest basketball player or the greatest football player.
The greatest
'Cause I love
athlete.
having the argument.
Yeah,
but
wait, I know.
you already know who I'm going to say. And it's not just because of the black cat suit that she used to wear back in the day, but Serena Williams.
Did he say?
I said it's not.
But you brought it up.
I did.
You had to throw.
Listen.
The cat. Okay.
Listen, they had to outlaw that thing. Like, that was like, no, she can't wear that anymore.
What?
It's a distraction.
Why? I would like you to explain why it's a distraction.
What's understood doesn't need to be explained.
That's why he made it a point
And
to say
Exactly.
the cat suit.
I said like. So anyway,
still-
back the greatest athlete, in my opinion. This is just my opinion. I know you guys like to disagree with me and stuff, so I'm going to put this out there, and then I'm going to let y'all agree or
I want to
disagree.
hear your opinion.
It's Serena Williams.
Okay.
Not the greatest female athlete. Not because people be like, oh, Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, Jerry Rice. Serena Williams.
I like how you just did highlight just men names. And then
Because
you-
that's who people
exactly
say in their
so
arguments.
I respect who you're saying is the greatest, because I'm a female and I agree that, her stat line is
It's
So
nice.
Tori gonna put them on the screen. They'll be like, bing, bing, bing. Stuff is just gonna be popping up.
all the different numbers. No, her numbers, like when you really dive into deep to her numbers and all the stats, it's ridiculous just how dominating this woman is. Her record is she wins 85% of the time.
So it's that time of the service where I go to my Googles.
Okay.
I do this. I go to my Googles with an S.
With an S.
So that way there's no trademark infringement by
Google's.
Googles. Because that's, black people add stuff where it shouldn't be added and take stuff away.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Career record. Say 85% wins, right?
85%.
851 wins, 148 losses.
Right.
So, Floyd Mayweather, 50-0.
Why she ain't got a shoe?
She has shoe deals, but not her own signature shoe.
Why-
She not.
Why not?
Michael Jordan made women's Jordans. Do you remember when the women's they had a W on the back?
Yeah.
The women's Jordan.
Really?
I knew a dude that.
Hey, okay.
You're not that much younger than me. Man. Like, come on, this was like the early 2000s. So you was like what?
Well,
fourth,
hey, I
fifth
couldn't
grade?
afford Jordans for a long period of time, so I didn't pay attention. So my bad.
So I knew guys that would, before all these different colorways and stuff would come out, they would just go get the women's Jordans if they wanted like the pinks or the baby blues or whatever.
No, it was like some Aqua 7s that only came out in women's, and the men's had to buy them. I remember that.
And so they would have to get the bigger size of the women's shoe to fit the But I'm saying Michael Jordan has women's Jordans, but somebody like Serena Williams
doesn't even have her own. That makes no sense. And I remember the whole, going back to the cat suit. Why should that be a big thing if as athletes you gain muscle, you have muscle? It shouldn't be a distraction.
Serena's unlike anything they had ever seen before. We, the brothers and the sisters, have seen those body types just like before plastic surgery.
Yeah.
You could go to Houston or Atlanta or Oak Park. Maybe not Oak Park. I don't want to offend anybody from the P, but maybe not Oak. LA, like LA.
What's
like,
LA?
Yeah,
like,
what is LA?
Okay, so people that's from Southern California, if they're from LA, they'll say, I'm from LA, right? Mm-hmm. But then there's other people that'll be like, oh, I'm from SoCal. Oh. And so when they hear SoCal, they assume, oh, like LA? No, like Riverside.
But
Inland
the
Empire.
way your voice changed and said SoCal, it said it all.
Yeah. It's just like our partners be like, oh, I'm from East Oakland. They make sure that you know what part of Oakland they're from, like to the street.
That's
I'm from such and such street. I'm not from there. You could make up a street. I wouldn't know, right? But for the outsiders, so you're not gonna see that probably walking around in Oak Park, like I said. But but what I'm saying is like she was something different. Like nobody ever seen that. So it's like, oh well, she dominates the sport because she's so much stronger. Well, that's God given. Like
she just has that talent, and
she works hard. Like
she does.
You have a passion for something, you put in the work to get to that level. Mm-hmm. And I mean, look at Mike Tyson when he first came into boxing. It was like, the boy built like a bulldog. What was that on Coming to America? The one with no neck, built like a bulldog. But it was like, oh, he's just mean, he's aggressive, and he dominant. Like that's literally how she was on the court, where people feared her. I tried to play tennis once. So my oldest kid's mom, she played tennis. She played tennis in high school. She like won championships and stuff. She's from the Bay too, San Francisco. And her and her partner, they used to win championships. Like
what part of San Francisco?
Oh, she from Trail Hill.
Okay, that's where OJ from, right?
Yeah, same neighborhood.
Okay. He
got his mural painted on the little rec center. That's a whole different story. Anyway, but you have this black and Filipino woman playing tennis, and at the time it's mostly white people or Asian people. So I think her friend is Chinese and black. So they got a little bit of both sides of it, but they went to a private school in the city, and like they're out there dominating. It's like, oh, is it because they're black? Like, why? No, because they're good. I tried to play tennis, so she took me on the tennis court one time, and I'm thinking, I'm an athlete. It's not gonna be a problem for me.
I'm waiting on this.
Yeah, I am too.
Because I mean, I have, what do you call it? Agility. It's a lot of back and forth, but just the technique that it takes to hit the ball, right, and make the ball spin a certain way, and to go where it's not as easy as it looks. It's not just hitting the. Don't get me wrong. I'm good at that too.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
I'm
literally like.
When was the last time you played?
The last time I played tennis, last year sometime.
Did you win?
It wasn't a game. It's like you go out and hit the ball. Like same with playing golf.
There are matches.
For example, golf. Kim, you see me at Top Golf.
Notice he didn't answer the question.
I wasn't playing a game. So did I win? No, I didn't win. I didn't lose either. We didn't play a match. Does that answer the question? We were hitting the ball back and forth. Like when you go play catch, you don't win. You see me at Top Golf though, like.
I have, yes.
My swing nice.
For Top Golf.
I play on the real golf course. It's the same swing.
I haven't been to the greens with you. Is that what you call it?
The court. So I picked up golf in 6th grade. 6th grade. So I was the kid that, like, kids now don't play outside. So it's kind of hard to evaluate stuff. But I played everything, right? Like literally any sport that was being played, I'm going to go outside and play. My parents got the table at the house. Like, you ain't saying nothing but a word. Like, you know what it is? Pool, billiards, darts, all of that.
Bowling.
Like bowling. Yes, I'm nice in bowling. Bowling over 200.
Lacrosse.
Yes, on the East Coast. I lived in Baltimore for a little bit. There's black people that play pickup games of lacrosse. Like the way we would go to the basketball court and be like, they like congregate at a field and bring the nets out and the sticks and all that stuff and the mat, everything.
Have you played field hockey?
Yes.
Rugby?
In college. Yes.
Skiing?
I haven't done skiing.
Snowboard?
I tried it.
And?
I fell a lot.
There's women in those sports that are dynamic, though. I don't know their name, but I've heard of them.
Across the board. So what I'm saying is, with all the athleticism that I possess, I would not try to challenge Serena Williams.
Absolutely not.
Match because of not the fear of losing. I'm not. You see how hard she hits the ball?
Yeah.
Like hard, like serves, all that. But there's men, I want to say that average, like not average, but they can get close to 100 miles an hour with their serves.
Right.
Serena's up there with them. And I don't know if you've ever played baseball or softball.
Yeah, it's got a whistle on it.
So softball to me is harder. Fast pitch softball is harder to hit a softball than it is baseball. Because of the angle that the ball is coming and the closeness to the plate and all that, and how the ball moves differently, like from it rises.
I agree, because
I was good at baseball too. And I'm saying it's harder to hit. It's so listen, but you're not listening. You're not really hearing me. Because I'm saying, so everything we're not comparing, but like in terms of the men's version of sports versus the women's version is harder. Softball, it's harder. Tennis is pretty much the same in terms of, because nothing changes about the dimensions of the court or whatever, just the level of competition.
There's different rackets, though.
That's the size of the person holding it. Just like baseball, there's different sizes of the bats. So the rackets for the women are a little bit smaller, a little bit lighter, because they're smaller. Women are generally,
well, yes,
we're not
the size
about
of women,
men,
yes, I understand that
smaller
part.
than the men, which is why
But
their
the rackets,
equipment is smaller.
they shouldn't have to be smaller.
Well, the basketball, women's basketball is smaller than men's basketball. It's literally just because
okay,
of the
but where
size
are we
of the
going?
athlete.
Because women are still giants.
There are some, like Brittany Griner. Did you know she had to pay child support?
Yeah, that I did know. She did.
It's a little bit off topic, but she had to pay.
Bro,
I told you, I wrote a whole book called Rome's Randomness.
very random. We weren't even talking about child support.
You talked about women that are giants, and I thought about Brittany Griner.
I'm
6 degrees of
talking about-
separation. Boom, she got to pay child support. Like, how does that even happen?
I don't know.
You didn't hear about that?
She got married. They had a kid.
You know what? We're not gonna touch on that.
Yeah, that's just I'm just saying what happened. I'm not going into how and why and the science of it.
She's the dual representation.
She's the new kid on the block.
She's the next up. Yeah, it's kind of like
She's the baby goat.
passing the torch.
She's dope.
Well, you can't call it a baby goat. What is it? A baby what?
She's the
Baby goat is called a kid, but I wouldn't call it a kid because that term is reserved for King Griffey Jr.
Okay, so what would you label
what would
her?
you call her?
She's the next. She's like the up and coming. She's
She's
one.
next up.
The heir apparent. Like Serena's still top dog.
Serena still is in the top 10.
Yeah.
She's like number 7 right now.
Yeah, she's number 7.
Yeah.
Blech, number 7. I can't talk right now.
But that's what I'm saying. Serena's still the top dog in terms of overall. But like in terms of right now, there was a point where Serena was like untouchable, where it's like, oh, who wins
for
here?
sure.
Serena, but like nobody can name any other tennis players. Now the fact that you can name other tennis players because Serena drew so much attention to the sport, like on a international level.
But she's been at the top for so long, right? in order to be something, you study something. So all these ones coming from behind her have studied her.
And they all consider it, from what I've seen, an honor to even compete against her when you get to that point.
As you should. I mean, she's the Michael Jordan of tennis. Like, we're getting to see that in terms of people pattern their games, like in terms of influence, culturally, on the court, off the court.
But why do we have to say the Michael
That's
Jordan
what I was
of
just
tennis?
about to
Why
say.
can't we just say she's the...
She's just the greatest. Next time on Whose Side Are You On?
That's the thing. Women are always coming to the defense for men. Like, something happens to a man, like we talked about Maya Moore advocating. But it's not the same way the other way around. We hear about people getting killed by the police or whatever. You always hear about the men, the male victims of it. Like, outside of Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland, you don't hear the names of, there's more women that are killed than there are men.
Thank you for watching another episode of Whose Side Are You On? Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, DM us, hit us up, let us know what you want us to talk about, because I'm sure there's a ton of debates out there where, you know, he'll be wrong and I'll be right. So
There's
make sure
none of the debates that I'll be wrong about unless you just want me to choose that side. But
stay locked in. Make sure you hit that notification button and stay updated. See y'all later.
peace.